speech, just kind of whether it was Kershaw or how the guys came together to pick up the win and kind of set the tone for this series?
I thought I thought Clayton was good. Made pitches when he needed to. Obviously, weathered that homer from Rosario, and I thought Danny Mark did a really nice job. Just knowing we had a loaded pen, and Clayton coming off 7 innings to kind of make sure, with the start coming up in Denver, it was smart. The bullpen did a nice job, and obviously Michael with that play in left field was a huge play.
For Dustin May today, what do you want to see from him and just how he kind of attacks the Nationals?
Well, it's at the top, it's heavy left, which he's been pretty good this year, and then there's some right-hand hitters in the middle at the bottom. I think it's just more of, obviously I use that kind of phrase, be on the attack. It's going to be kind of using his spin to protect the fastball. I think pretty aggressive hitting team outside of Wood, pretty passive. But I think that for me, it's kind of Dustin has been really good, and then just make sure that, we don't let off the gas and stay kind of focused, for the 6-7 innings he's going to give us tonight.
It seemed like Kike's swings yesterday were a lot better. Like, how important is that, especially with how much you kind of stress, like how much you need him against left-handed pitching?
It was good to see him swing the bat. I mean, even some of his misses were the right misses. I think there were some balls that he took down below, got some really good swings off, and obviously Miggy homered last night. Took the double the other way, so he had some good at bats. And so with those guys, we got some left-handers coming up soon. So it's going to be really helpful to have those guys swing the bats.
How did you enjoy your night off? Are you a nervous viewer when you're sitting up there?
I was at home, and I wouldn't say nervous, but I can see how you guys kind of can wonder what's going to happen next, or what decision a manager is going to potentially make. So I got to kind of experience that, which was a little unsettling.
You second guess Danny every
You know what? We were kind of in lockstep. I liked what he did.
Dave Dalton, he's obviously not in there again today, but how are you seeing how he's handled this situation that's very unique to him and not play?
He'll be in there tomorrow, and I think he's doing well. I think that it's still kind of a learning curve for him, which we all knew once he, got this opportunity. But like I've said from the outset, he's building relationships with the pitchers. I think the catching, the game calling has been fantastic. And just getting used to not playing every day is something that he's still kind of adjusting to. But I think the at-bats have been better.
Assuming Will stays healthy, he's playing at an all-star level, do you see, is this sustainable for him or for Dalton?
Well, I think that you just never know. Certainly, I think that he's getting experience being here. It's better than being in the minors. I think we're doing a really nice job. I think that also with Major League Baseball, the catching, having 2 really viable, players, I think offensively, defensively, because, the starters are getting less playing time as far as like starting catcher. So he's going to get his opportunities, and I do think it's sustainable. Yeah, and hopefully nothing does happen to Will, though, yeah.
He has been shagging the outfield, but I know, is there still no plans on him like kicking on every once in a while?
No. There might be opportunities like we've done a couple times at first base, but not to play the outfield.
With Will, how confident are you that the way you've handled him will produce a better second half than he's had the last couple of years?
I think I'm pretty confident, and I just got to make sure I remain steadfast and kind of using Dalton and giving Will days. There's been some injuries that he's dealt with, but I do think that if we can kind of keep his legs, his mind sharp and fresh, I think the performance is sustainable.
How tempting is it to play him more?
It always feels good to write his name in the lineup. even taking him out of the game a couple nights ago to then have a day game tomorrow. But I've already made the decision that Dalton's going to play tomorrow. But it always feels good to play Will. But I also like the idea of getting Dalton opportunities to grow as a ball player.
Do you appreciate not just the physical, but the mental wear and tear on a catcher more now than you might have as a player?
Absolutely. And I also think it's a different age. But as a manager, you're more in tune with the game calling, the receiving, the at-bat certainly, and it does take a toll. And Will is strong, but it's not a Salvador Perez engine, right? So you have to just be mindful, and he's going to want to play every day, but we've got to manage it too.
What is different about him this year that he's kept that going as long as he has offensively?
I think he's fresh, he's healthy, he's obviously getting to a lot of balls, specifically the heater, that he wasn't in the last couple of years, certainly at the end of both seasons. I think he's healthy. He's a perennial all-star, so not that he lacked for confidence, but he's just really, body and mind in a good spot.
You called him the best catcher in baseball the other night, and Cal Raleigh, as you acknowledge, is also having a really good season. What to you makes Will the best?
Well, I'm biased, number one. I just think that his ability to get a big hit, I think that the throwing, I think what he does with our pitchers, which I don't know what Cal does, the ability to drive in runs, to hit left, hit right. So that's for me, and I think the consistency and not just having, I think Will's done it for 4 years, something like that, and performed at a high level.
You've used the word heartbeat a lot with a lot of guys, and Will's kind of one of those guys without a heartbeat. How many guys have a heartbeat like Will and all the time that you manage the Dodgers?
There's a few. We have more, I think, than most teams. This particular team, I don't want to go down the list and omit some guys unintentionally or intentionally, but we have a lot of those guys. We really do, and we're fortunate to have those guys. We have a lot of those.
Do you think there's a correlation with kind of that heartbeat of Will and his ability to perform in those clutch situations?
1,000%, absolutely. To go 0-2 to 4-2, bases loaded, to ultimately take a walk and take some tough pitches, that's heartbeat. Obviously, it's picking up a baseball, but it's also a heartbeat and not getting too anxious to chase.
Any status change with any of your long list of injured pitchers?
No, tomorrow's going to be a good day. Luis Garcia is going to pitch in Rancho. Tyler's going to throw for OKC. Rocky's doing his progression, which is good. Blake's ramping up, and he should have a pen on the horizon shortly, which is in the next couple of days, so that's exciting. That's good. We're on the come. Blake Trinan's in a good spot, continue to build on his throwing program. So, yeah, good things are happening.
With Roki, it's been a few days of playing catch.
I think it's been a couple of days, but yeah.
He hasn't reported the same.
No, he has not.
With Tyler, do you guys have to do you have to prioritize him building up over kind of being available? I know with Emmett, obviously he's only got to the fourth inning and you guys wanted to bring him up because of need, but for Tyler, do you really want to put emphasis on him being fully built up before being available to come back to the team?
I think that with Tyler, I think we have an option. And I think obviously with Emmett looming, ability to come back in, however many days, obviously with Robo, and so Tyler, as he's continuing to build up, as he's starting to get to 3-4 innings, we can kind of have a decision at some point.
I think this will be like 4 or 5 pens for Snell. Is he close to facing hitters?
I would say probably not. He's still, we got to do another pen, and we'll see where we go. But I would just say, kind of overall, my idea of close is probably not, which could be different from yours, Fabian.
Is Snell throwing
Yes. Yep.
How about a Trinan?
He is using his entire mix as well. Thanks, guys.